So could someone steal your house? Well, we're going to talk about that here on Carolina Buzz. Here I'm with Kenny Stroud. He is with CATIC. Kenny, welcome to Carolina Buzz.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Great to have you. So talk about what you do for CATIC.
So I'm Vice President and Regional Counsel for CATIC in the Southeast, where I help oversee all of our legal and underwriting operations for the company.
Okay, so exactly what does CATIC do? Because it's different than probably it's not insurance, but what exactly is it?
Well, it is insurance. We're a title insurance company. We were formed or founded in 1966, and we operate in 21 states and are growing, including here in South Carolina. And our primary function is to provide title insurance for real estate transactions. Something new that we're doing, though, is our title theft products.
Okay, talk about that. Talk about the need for that, because you're actually saying someone could come in and steal my house, and I don't even know it.
They absolutely can. Title theft has been and is on the rise. And what I mean by title theft is a third-party imposter will come in and either steal your identity or try to pose as you and sell your property out from underneath you, forge a deed in your name, or possibly borrow money against your property without your knowledge. And our new title theft products are designed to protect you as the homeowner against that, as well as provide coverage to fix your title from the fraud and undo that fraud.
Okay. How do I get your product if I want to protect my house?
So we don't issue policies directly. So you would go to a CATIC authorized agent here in South Carolina. And we can provide you a list of those agents if needed. And you would inquire about that type of coverage. And they would have the products and access to issue those as well.
Okay. So how would I know if someone's trying to steal my house? Or would you know? Or would it be something you're going to find out after it's already been done?
Sometimes it's too late. You only find out after it's done. And that's the risk. Sometimes you might find out when it's occurring and you might have an opportunity to stop it. But unfortunately, most homeowners don't find out until it's too late, until they get a notice or a moving truck shows up in their driveway. This is very common with non-owner occupied houses, so investment property, rental income, or maybe even secondary homes, vacation homes where you're not there all the time. That's the risk on those types of properties is a lot higher.
Yeah, which we have a lot down here in the Carolinas, that's for sure. Talk about how someone can protect themselves ahead of time. And I would imagine it would be right off the bat when you've just purchased the house that you would want to do this.
Correct. So there's a couple of different types of owner's policies that you can purchase when you purchase your home. One is the standard owner's policy, and the other is the enhanced owner's policy, also called the homeowner's policy. We always recommend that you evaluate, and if it's right for you, purchase the enhanced owner's policy. By doing that, you actually get this post-policy forgery and impersonation fraud coverage in that enhanced owner's policy. But we recognize that maybe that's not applicable for every type of property that you're purchasing, and it may not be appropriate for your particular transaction. If you purchase the standard owner's policy, we now have a new endorsement that can be added to that standard owner's policy to provide simply that coverage for title theft, future title theft.
Okay, so is this something you would talk to your real estate agent about?
You would talk to your closing attorney about it. Okay. Their closing attorney is going to be the CATIC authorized agent able to issue these policies and endorsements.
Okay, so are there things that I can do, let's say once I've purchased my house, that I can be on the lookout for to see if something is happening?
You absolutely can. There are certain registries across the United States, and it depends on the county in which your property is in. But you can sign up for a deed or fraud alert service that if any deed is filed with respect to your property, you get notified via email. And you can maintain and sort of watch it that way. Not all counties have them, though, and that's why we're encouraging our CATIC agents and our homeowners to think about purchasing fraud insurance to protect against that future title theft.
Okay. So when you've bought the house and you're going to go through a closing, is it important that the lawyer who's doing it can actually guide you on this?
Absolutely. Yes. You want to work with a closing attorney who's one, experienced and knows what they're doing in terms of the transaction, but also is up to date on the latest policies that can be issued and the latest products that are being offered to protect the consumer.
Okay. So how prevalent is this? I mean, I've got to think if I just bought a house, I've got everything there. No one can take it from me, but it actually happens a lot more than you realize, right?
It does, yeah. I don't have the exact statistics with me right now, but I think Alta published, well, Alta is the American Land Title Association, that every closing attorney or title agent across the U.S. has experienced some attempt of fraud. So it is very prevalent, and it's been around, but it's on the rise. And so we want to get the message out and make sure that our homeowners are protected.
Okay. Are the criminals who are doing this, are they mostly anonymous? In other words, I wouldn't know this person. They'd be doing it kind of behind the scenes through emails, through other electronic devices that they could do. Is that how it normally is?
That's exactly how it works, John. So the normal seller impersonation fraud, the way that it works is they will send over a contract to the closing attorney or the title agent posing as the seller. After that, they will typically refuse to communicate with the closing attorney either by phone or in person. They will insist on email or text communications only. So they're hiding behind this digital veil of secrecy, never exposing their true identity. But these fraudsters, they're very cunning. They have created fake IDs that look and feel just like a regular ID and can be passed off very easily as a valid ID. And so, you can never be too careful when it comes to protecting against fraud. Our products, though, are designed to give you that assurance after you purchase, when you own the home for as long as you own it, that as long as if you ever become the victim of title fraud, you have an insurance policy to back you up to come in and fix the title, undo the fraud, and compensate you for that.
And if you didn't have that and you tried to do it yourself, that'd be a lot of legal fees. Talk about what you guys provide for someone who has gone through that.
Yeah. So a homeowner who was the victim of title fraud would, without the benefit of a title insurance policy, would need to hire an attorney to undo the fraud. And that would constitute filing a lawsuit against the buyer of the property, the buyer's lender, and the person, if they can figure out who it was, the person who posed as the seller. They would ask the court to unwind that transaction, that is, cancel the deed and any subsequent mortgage that was given by the buyer's lender, and restore the title back to the true owner. This could cost thousands of dollars in attorney's fees, and it could take months, if not years, to accomplish, which is a nightmare that I don't think any homeowner would want. With our title insurance theft products, we step in and we handle that process for you. We hire the counsel, we pay the attorney's fees, and they go in and unwind the fraud through that process.
So that's all taken care of. What about the banks? I got to think if somebody was able to do that to me, that shouldn't my bank be able to figure that out too?
Banks do a really good job of satisfying seller identification. However, the primary responsibility is on the closing attorney who's handling the transaction. And no one's perfect. We have other tools and resources that we provide to our agents to help with that, such as seller ID verification, where they scan the driver's license and scan the seller's face to determine if it's a legitimate ID and if it's the right person. So technology has allowed us to bring a lot of those tools and resources to these transactions to protect against fraud, but nothing is completely foolproof.
Okay. So what if I've had my house for 10 years? I've had it for a long time. Could I be a victim of that?
You absolutely can. Title theft is not just exclusive to vacant land or second homes or vacation homes or rental properties. No one is safe from title theft. So even if you've owned your home for 10, 15, 20 years, you could potentially be a victim of title theft. Our products are designed to tack on to an existing owner's policy that you should have purchased or maybe purchased at the time when you purchased your property 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you don't have an owner's title insurance policy, if you've never purchased one, you can still purchase one now. You could approach your CATIC agent and inquire about whether you can get an owner's policy to protect you now.
Okay. So that makes sense. And I think it would tie into, because if you've had a house for 10 to 15 years, you've paid down quite a bit on your mortgage, so there's a lot of equity there, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you're even at higher risk, in my opinion, for title theft. If a fraudster or an imposter knows that let's say your property's owned free and clear, you paid off your mortgage, that's a prime property for them because they can pocket more of the proceeds by committing fraud against your property.
Okay. And once they do it, then they scram and disappear, and you could be out and you don't even know it yet.
Correct. It's very, very hard to identify who these fraudsters are. And by the time that the money is traced, it's usually long gone.
Hmm. And so who are these fraudsters? Is it just someone with a criminal background that also has a good technical background as well?
Yes. We haven't been able to identify any particular person or set of persons, but we do know that they're very technologically savvy. They do this a lot because what we've seen is that the more attempts that they have, some are going to fall through the cracks and they're actually going to win on their fraud. Thankfully, our CATIC closing attorneys and agents in our states are very proactive. They pay close attention. They do a good job of vetting seller identity before proceeding with the closing and wiring funds. But it's a numbers game. So the more times that they attempt the fraud, they're going to find one or two that will slip through the cracks.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, you're hearing about all these athletes and actors who are well known, who are off performing, and this cabal from wherever comes in and they go in and they raid their house while no one's there, and then they get out of there and then they leave the country. Is it kind of similar to that, except it's not for the famous? This is just for the everyday person who owns a home?
It absolutely is. And I'm glad you brought that up because probably one of the most famous cases of title fraud or title theft is Graceland, Elvis's property.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so there was an attempted fraud there as well. But yes, it's not just for the rich and famous. It's for the everyday homeowner who's worked hard to pay for their property over time. Maybe they paid off their mortgage or paid it down significantly, and they want to protect their investment and their equity in that property.
So after you saved Elvis, did he say, "Thank you very much"?
Unfortunately, that was not our opportunity.
It wasn't yours. Okay, that's too bad. All right. So how do people get in touch with CATIC to get a CATIC representative so that they can see if this is something they should have?
There's a couple ways. One, you can reach out to your local CATIC authorized agent. That would be a closing attorney who underwrites with CATIC in South Carolina. Or you can contact us directly using the information on our website for CATIC at South Carolina, and we'll put you in touch with a CATIC authorized agent.
Okay, so what about North Carolina? Since we cover North Carolina here as well, can you get a CATIC agent in North Carolina?
You can, yes. We do business in North Carolina as well. And again, you can reach out to a CATIC authorized agent there if you know one. If not, you can contact us and we'll put you in touch with one.
Okay, and how do they contact you?
So you can email us on our website. For South Carolina, you can email sclegal@catic.com. And for North Carolina, it's nclegal@catic.com.
All right. Kenny, thank you very much. He's Kenny Stroud. He is with CATIC, and if you want to protect your house, this is the guy you need to call. Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.